The US government engaging American oil companies to potentially expand the Venezuelan market and divert oil from there to America. How could this new supply influence global oil prices and challenge OPEC's established role in setting those prices?
Well, the politics of Venezuela are very tricky, so we'll have to see how quickly our US companies are actually active there, how quickly does Venezuelan production rise, sanctions are eased or withdrawn or whatever. I think there'll be, in that case, an immediate boost to Venezuelan production, but not a large one, perhaps a few 100,000 barrels per day. The question really is over the longer term, 3 to 4 years, is there really sustained investment into Venezuela so production could rise by perhaps 2 million barrels per day? That would really be the challenge for OPEC. Venezuela, of course, is an OPEC country, but it's not bound by production limits right now. If Venezuelan production is rising, at some point OPEC will have to have a tough conversation about how far that goes.
And you just touched on the fact that Venezuela's oil production has been hit by sanctions, it's been mismanaged, and there's been a lack of investment. So has this put pressure on GCC producers, and is it likely to put any on?
Venezuelan oil, their heavy oil, was particularly supplying the US. That, of course, has mostly gone away in this period of sanctions. Middle Eastern countries, and particularly Iraq and Saudi Arabia, have been sending their heavier oils to the US instead. If Venezuelan oil comes back in a big way, then that will displace the Middle Eastern oil, and that will have to go somewhere else. So there's all a kind of shuffling around a barrel. That is perhaps a secondary thing. You know, the more important thing is what pressure does it put on the overall oil price. I don't think a few 100,000 barrels per day of Venezuelan oil make much difference. But if you talk about 1 or 2 million over a period of time, then yes, that definitely means a period of lower oil prices for longer.
Bearing in mind potential expanded US oil production from Venezuela, non-OPEC countries supplying oil, and also evolving demand in Asia, how sustainable is OPEC's role in price stability, and are GCC members likely to have to rethink their strategies amongst these shifting geopolitical trends?
I think there always was a process of rethinking was coming this year and next year, which is really to say, okay, we'll increase production first, then we'll have a big rethink about everybody's production targets and reset them. Some people will go up, some will come down, but there'll be a more logical set of targets for everybody. Now, Venezuela somehow will have to be fitted into that depending where it's going. So OPEC's role of price management and supply management continues very much. But yes, this is an additional complication for them to think about.